Alright, so for today's lesson, I'm just going to show you how to make two rooms attached by a hallway, and then I will eventually get to showing you how to just keep adding on to those rooms with more hallways and more hallways, so on and so forth. I don't have any kind of keyboard keystroke capture software, so I'm just going to use my mad editing skills to put those on screen for anything important. I think it's a much better way of doing it anyway. So this is what my Blender looks like when I first start the program. I've changed it to look like this. So for me, I'm gonna have to just rotate it back to the normal view, hit Shift A, and make a cube. Now with this cube, I'm just going to you can get into edit mode however you like. For me, I do it like this. Just still hit tab, there's just an extra step. Now what I'm gonna do here, once again for me it's F3, for you I think it's space. It just opens up the search thing, and I'm just going to flip the normals. So now that the normals are flipped, you'll probably get something like this. If not, you have to enable backface culling. I don't know how to do it in your version of Blender. But anyway, let's go into edit mode. I'm just going to make this bigger, move it up. This is just what I do, you don't have to do it. Let's make it more like a room. So what I'm going to do, I'll just put it on the screen, but I'm going to scale it, hit Shift and press Z, and just scale it out like this to make it more like a room. Now we have lots of fucking room. So now I'm just going to add a doorway to it. So what I do is, so to get this, you hit Control R, click, and then you drag it to where you want it. I'm going to drag it out here. Now you hit Control R again and scroll up, and just double click to keep it in the middle, or click and then right click so it's definitely in the middle. And then I'm going to scale it on the Z axis to make it more door shaped. I'm actually unhappy with how high I made it, so I'm just gonna alt click this, drag it down, alt click these two, scale it again. And, well, I'm not happy with it, but I'm gonna continue anyway. So now we're just gonna grab this face and extrude it in this direction, and then delete this face. Then we're gonna grab all of these faces, and then Shift D to duplicate, and then scale it on the Y axis, so S, and then you hit Y to scale it on the Y axis. And then you hit -1, so it just flips exactly as you expect it. Then I'm going to move it along the Y axis. And now I'm going to enable snapping to vertex. I think it's the same how you do it in your version of Blender. But it's like down here, and then you'll see it's snapping is set to increment. You want to snap it to vertex. And now, when you start to move this, press G to move if you don't know that. I hope you know that. And what you want to do is grab it with your mouse to the vertex you want to snap, and then hold Control and snap it to the vertex you want to snap it to. In this case, it's this. I'm going to go out of wireframe mode and... Oh yeah, since we've scaled it, or we've flipped it, the normals need to be reversed again. So I'm going to flip the normals, hit space, and it should be right there if you've been following my crappy instructions. And now what you want to do is select everything, go to your search bar, or if you already know the shortcut, I don't. So you want to hit, look for, remove doubles. And that'll make sure these are connected. So, yeah, like that. And now you have 2 rooms. So, at this point in time, I usually make a door frame. To do that, I select these 3 edges, duplicate it, Shift D, separate by selection, hit P, separate selection, and then go out into object mode, click the edges, and then back into edit mode. And now press E and extrude it and right click so it just goes back to its normal position. And now I hit... No, I don't hit that. How did I do this? Oh, scale it along the y-axis. In this case, let's go in this direction. Just move it out like this. And now you have this. Now you go into object mode and add a solidify modifier. Add modifier, solidify. It's different in your version of Blender. Again, I'm sorry. I think the way you get to this menu is somewhere along here. But for me, it's here. And then you add modifier, solidify. Oh, I don't need to. And then you just adjust the thickness to how you think it should be. Oh yeah, if you get something like this, go into edit mode, do the search thing again, and hit make normals consistent. And while we're at it, we'll add even thickness. And something I just like to do to this is add a bevel modifier. You don't have to use a modifier if you don't want to. You can do it manually, but I find that this is just safer. So now that we have this frame here, and just duplicate it, translate it along the y-axis. Now if you're like me and you like to be super precise, which is not like me at all now that I think about it, and, hit edit, go to select the rooms again, select this edge here, I think it's Shift S, and hit cursor to selected, and now this thing I like to do is just make sure that the origin of everything is in the center of... So the origin of the door should be its center. So see how that moved there? Now its origin point is its center. Actually no, I need its... I've forgotten the steps, but you can learn from my mistakes. So you'd want the origin of the door frame to be here. So now that I've moved the 3D cursor there, set it... There's a shortcut for this, but it's different in Blender 2.8, so I just do it this way. Set the origin to the 3D cursor, and duplicate this, and then put it wherever you want, but I'm just going to right click. And move the 3D cursor, Shift S, move it over here. Select one of these doors, and then hit Shift S again, and selection to cursor, and then you want to hit R, then Z, and then rotate it by 90 degrees. And now your door frame should be in the exact center of this wall, which is in this case where I want it to be. And now I use this door frame to help me line up where I want these lines that we did for the first room. Or at least, yeah. Yeah, once again, my method isn't exactly precise. These hallways are going to be a different size by like a couple centimeters, probably. Actually, no. If I wanted to be super precise, I would scale this S and then scale it on the Y-axis, and then snap to the very edge of the door frame. And now they're the exact same size, if you like your life to be tedious. Not even sure if this is the exact way I did it the first time, but now you just you follow the same steps. Extrude it out however much you like, or if you like things to be exact, you just delete this face here, duplicate this, move it over, rotate it by 90 degrees, and snap it exactly where you want it. Come to think of it, this room can save a lot of time if we just delete this room over here. So we'll do that. Oh. And now you just have a room. Sorry, I won't grab the hallways. So now we just have a room that we can move around, rotate it by 90 degrees. Just move everything around into its right position. Just there's probably like an easier way to go about this that's less tedious, but this is how I do it. So yeah, to make sure everything is precise as you want it, you know, we've got these two rooms, but since we've built it in such a precise way, we just need to press G near the closest vertice and snap it to this corner just here. Now everything. Now you just remove doubles. Yep, 28 vertices, that's about right. Now we just duplicate the door frames. Just move them along the axes. The door frames don't need, actually, because of the way I made it, they do need to be precise, but I'm not going to be. I elect not to be. And there you got 4 rooms. My instructions weren't clear, but you know, you have a basic idea now and you can ask questions where I fucked up the instructions. That was fun.